I'm Jieyu. I'm a part-time watercolor artist. Today we're gonna talk about some very useful watercolor techniques. This portrait is going to be my number 80 watercolor friend. I'm going to paint her using a very special handmade watercolor, Okie Tea Rose, made by Redbud Pigment. I really love this handmade brand, especially their granulating colors. Now let's create our number 80 watercolor girl together. If you are painting with a new color, you have to do color swatching. Swatching is the best way to understand the color. You can only see the true color, the value, the undertone when you put the color on paper. It's also a great way to quickly test the behavior of the pigment. Like how fast can the pigment travel? How does the granulation look like? Another technique I use all the time is wet on dry. This technique means that you wait until each layer dries before applying the next layer on top of it. This way, it's so much easier to control the precision of each layer. I rely on this method to layer up the shadow of the portrait. The most important technique for my style is softening the edges. This technique is so critical if you want to have a smooth transition from dark to light. After apply the paint, I use a clean and damp brush to blend the edge of the paint. If you want to have an extremely smooth transition, you need to make sure that the clean brush holds less water than the paint on the paper, just for easier water control. So it should feel like the clean brush is absorbing the pigment from the paper. If your clean brush has more water than the paint on the paper, the water might travel back to that previous layer, leaving watermarks. Let's try one more time. For the first layer, you can add a little more water so it doesn't dry out that quickly. Use a clean and damp brush to blend the edge while the paint is still wet. If the pigment has already spread to your clean brush, you will need to rinse it, then repeat the process. want to share my favorite watercolor brands. My go-to brand is Baohong Artist Block. This paper is 100% cotton. The quality of the paper is pretty good and it's more affordable. I use it to paint a lot of the Tang Dynasty portrait. And recently I discovered this paper, which I don't know how to pronounce, but this is also 100% cotton paper. What's interesting about this paper is that the texture is kind of like in between cold pressed and hot pressed. So the surface is much more smoother than cold pressed one. But the paper can hold a lot of water too. So it's kind of like the perfect balance of cold pressed and hot pressed paper. If you want to paint portraits that require precision and layering, this might be a good paper to try. Of course, I like arches too. This is the hot pressed block. I also have the cold pressed block. I haven't finished this one, but you can see the paper is very smooth. So I have a lot of detailed lines. Sometimes I use paper sheets, like these ones. I think this is Waterford. I could be wrong, but this is a good paper. It's very thick, can hold a lot of water, 100% cotton too. Yeah, this is a painting I need to work on. Haven't finished this one either. I usually create these portraits through adding up many layers of paint. So to me, watercolor paper is way more important than brushes or paint. The paper must be durable and must be absorbent to hold that many layers of washes. For that reason, I only use 100% cotton cold-pressed watercolor paper. Let's finish creating our number 80 girl. If you have any questions, please leave the comments down below. Here is our number 80 watercolor friend. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.